Hey guys, what's up? My name is Morgan and I'm gonna go over with you some of the basic exercises that you might see when you're doing your reformer exercises. And Madeline will be my assistant today. All right, so first thing you wanna do is think about your spring selection. We are gonna start with something called footwork. Footwork is essentially a leg press type exercise. We're gonna go with foot bar in that middle position. If you're super short, so I'm 5'2", I'm considered super short, I don't need it. But if you have shorter legs, like I'm talking under 5 foot, it's gonna be more comfortable probably for you to move your foot bar to the higher position if you have that on your reformer. And if you have really long lower legs, you may be more comfortable moving the foot bar to the lowest position. So keep that in mind when you're deciding where exactly the foot bar goes, but we typically just keep it in the middle. Spring selection. I prefer heavier springs for this exercise, and there's a reason for that. So what I'm gonna say right now is go with 2 heavy, 1 light, or if you're balanced body, 2 green, 1 red. Okay, if you're not, figure out which of your springs are heavy and which are light. Try for 2 heavy, 1 light, okay? After you've done that, lay down on your backs. Place your head on your flat headrest, lift it if needed. Eye gaze is gonna go straight up to the ceiling. Okay, your feet are gonna go hips width on your heels. And what you wanna think about first and foremost is breathing. As you breathe, inhale through the nose to the back base of your rib cage. When you exhale, and there's a lot of important things on your exhale, you first wanna exhale through the front of your body. What we're doing is connecting to something called a natural pelvic floor lift. Okay, so it's almost like the muscles in my groin are shifting up toward my ribs as I exhale. The other really important thing is to relax your jaw. You wanna exhale through the mouth as if you're fogging up a mirror. This is important. Okay, the second most important thing right now is your neutral spine. Create a heaviness in your shoulder blades, ribs, and tailbone. There may be a little space between the low back and the carriage. That's your neutral spine. You're gonna use your breath in neutral spine to essentially move the carriage with the assistance of your lower body. So open the collarbone, relax your shoulders away from both the ceiling and the shoulder blocks, never shrug. Arms either long by your side, or if there's not quite enough space, you could place them on your pelvis or your stomach to feel control of your core, which we'll talk about later. Now, when we come hips width, that's about 2 fists between your inner thighs. So find that hips width position on the heels. Don't just be neutral with the feet. Gently flex your toes toward the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. Exhale to slowly begin to press out, lengthening those legs. Inhale to find your way back down with control. Now, as you're going back and forth, pressing in and out, you want to lengthen behind the knee. Don't engage the knee or the shin. And again, you don't want to find yourself shrugging into the shoulder blocks. Instead of pushing into the shoulder blocks, reset so that you can push your feet more into the foot bar instead. So really push into the foot bar to start and then slowly come out. So again, you want to create that heaviness in shoulder blades, ribs, and tailbone. That's super heavy here. Exhale out. Inhale down. And this breath can change depending on your instructor and their certification. I'm just teaching that contemporary exhale on exertion breath. But bring the next one down. Come to your toes in a V shape. Heels together, toes apart. We call this Pilates V. Let's practice that more classical breath. Everything else is the same. Start with your core, spine, and relax shoulders. And instead of exhale out, slowly inhale out. Imagine inhaling, lengthening from toes to crown of head. Exhale, heavy, neutral spine, melt those hips open on the way down. Now, when we're doing stuff like this on the toes, you're gonna feel more quad and inner thigh, but don't neglect that toe strengthening and toe grip and toe flexibility, all that stuff. It's also very important. So you're gripping with the toes, your heels are gently pressed together, and you're inhaling out to create length. So again, this is Pilates V position. Bringing it down, come back to hips width, but on your tippy toes. Slowly press out and hold. Two straight legs, my feet never leave the foot bar. Bend the right knee and lengthen and press the left heel up and under, lengthening your calf and tendon. Lift and then switch. This is called prancing. I've heard it called running in place, depending on the certification. So you're stretching one tendon, lifting and switching, keeping your hips, the space between your hip bones and your hips, just level to the ceiling. You're not rotating left and right. So a little ankle articulation, still working on that toe grip. Good, and slowly bring it all the way down. Come into a wide turned out position. That's gonna be your feet all the way wide on your foot bar, toes turned out to the sides. Feel your midline, your center, crown of head to tailbone. Grow heavy in your neutral spine, palms down. Let's go back to exhale to press out. Inhale to come down. Right now your focus is gonna be evenness, symmetry. So evenness in your hips, thighs, knees, heels, and toes, away from your center. You feel like if you were cut in half right now, you'd be totally even on each side. I am working through an even position as I'm out, as I'm in. So use this as an opportunity to connect to that. Great. And those are your main footwork positions. I will go over one more, which is single leg. This is a little more advanced because you want to make sure you have a good connection to pelvic stability and neutral spine. But come hips width, take a deep breath, flex the toes and press out. Holding it here, make sure you have a good grip with the heel. Float your left leg into what we call tabletop. Tabletop is when my foot's in the air and I'm making essentially like a 90-degree angle with one foot, and flex the toes. Bring the carriage halfway down, all the way out. Halfway down, all the way out. Now come halfway down and start to pulse. A pulse is never a bounce, it's a controlled movement. So imagine sliding and gliding your carriage as you pulse. You want to remain in control while keeping your hips level to the ceiling, not letting the left hip go right. And that's your single leg. On the same springs, bring your feet down to that platform underneath your foot bar. Arches or heels on, palms next to your hips, eye gaze straight ahead. Feel that neutral spine, so that heaviness in your shoulder blades, ribs, and tailbone. Feel the position of your spine. We're gonna maintain that position as we bridge. So in a hinge bridge, we're gonna exhale, lift as one piece, inhale to come back down. We lift and lower. If you cramp, take a break and stretch. So I'm lifting my spine in neutral the whole time. Okay, that's your hinge bridge. You can also hinge bridge on the foot bar. If you're comfortable, come back up to the foot bar. Lower back pain, lower back injuries, anything to do with your spine. If you need a modification, go back down to the platform and bridge. It's a great way to bridge and it's the safest. Okay, now we're coming from this higher foot position and I slowly hinge to lift and lower. The hard part here is stopping in a neutral spine. So instead of coming up like this, where I feel like I'm extending my low back, I want to stop about right here where I just feel flat. And that's the space you want to work in during hinge bridge. Okay, next, going through articulation. It's a different type of bridge. If you've done mat Pilates, you know the difference. If not, here's the difference. Instead of lifting as one piece, I roll my spine up piece by piece, bone by bone, as I come up into a bridge. So, pretend your spine is a link chain. Flatten it all the way flat into your carriage, and then almost try to round your back, even though you can't because you're pushed into the carriage. Going back to the link chain, the bottom link is your tailbone. Begin to peel your spine off of the carriage, link by link by link, as you lift up your hips and glutes into your bridge. When you reach a neutral spine stop, Slightly round your back. Melt the vertebrae back down, link by link by link. Vertebrae by vertebrae. There's a difference. You should feel a lot more spine, lower back release. If you're wondering, breath. I always cue exhale to lift, inhale to lower. A proper breath should be 4 to 6 seconds for an inhale, 5 to 7 seconds for an exhale, but it may depend on your instructor, exactly what they want you to do. Okay, let's go to a spring change. One heavy, one light. Balanced body is going to be a red and a blue. Depending on the brand you have, you may have like a yellow and a blue, or too light if you don't have colors. Just base it on the reformer you have and the springs you have. No. Laying down on your back, you want to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch away from the shoulder blocks so you don't feel them. Okay, feet are on foot bar to start. Reach for your shoulder straps and place them in your hand. Gently press the carriage out so your wrists line up over your shoulders. Tabletop your right leg and flex the toes. Then add tabletop the left foot. Flex those toes about hips width with your feet. Take an inhale. Exhale, straight arm press down next to your hips. Inhale to reach back up. I teach long fingertips. Depends on your instructor, but I like those fingertips nice and long. As you press down, gently pull the sides of your back center. Inhale, release. Progression is adding a head, neck, and chest lift. Eye gaze to your pelvis. Inhale, slowly look back to the ceiling to lower the head. You're really pulling those muscles between your rib cage together as you press down, and you're sliding your pelvis gently towards your chin, also as you're lifting your chest. A progression here also is straightening one leg to 45, bend back in, and alternate which leg is lifting. A progression from there. Okay, after you've done that, straighten your legs to the ceiling, bend back down. Your last progression, you lift up and straighten the legs to 45 and bend. And then your final is to hold and pump those arms in the 100. Now, depending on your instructor, they're going to teach specific things. They'll tell you. Sometimes we'll do like elbows bend, Pilates V, and we straighten and bend here. This is an exercise. Okay, we'll go into T's. Sometimes we'll go to T and lift. So it just depends on the instructor, what they're teaching. We'll always tell you exactly what to do. But the basics of that exercise is this. Hips width tabletop, toes flexed, arms straight. Connect to your spine and exhale, press down to pull the sides of back center. Work on those things, and then your core connection, sliding your pelvis gently towards your ribs, and then taking the muscles between the ribs and just gently pulling them center. Okay, let's go to feet and straps. This is a favorite of most people. Placing your feet in the long straps, bring the hands down next to your hips or on your belly if you can't quite fit that properly. And you want to think about now your spine. I always say, take away everything but the spine. Okay, nothing else on your body, just your spine. Think about the position it's in. You want heaviness in your shoulder blades, ribs, and tailbone. You may not feel that middle back too much. Okay, then palms down next to your hips. Start to lower and lift those legs. Okay, as you lower and lift your legs here, there's a range of motion that's unique to your body. Okay, so as I'm coming down, if I feel like I either have pressure in my low back is hyperextended, or if I feel like my belly's poking to the ceiling, I'm simply too low, and that's not a strength thing. It doesn't mean you're weak. It's just not the right place for your anatomy. So as you lower and lift, first see if you can correct it by kind of pulling in through the core, like you're pulling your belly from the ceiling and sliding the hips up to ribs, and then you're taking the muscles between the ribs in. Okay, if you can keep that tight, you can go as low as you're comfortable going, as long as you don't hyperextend the low back. Okay, but if that's hard for you right now, or if you don't think it's something your body is in the position to do at this time, lessen your range of motion. So I always tell people, start at the top, which is different for everyone. You don't want your butt lifted like this in the air. Your tailbone's down, that's your top. Start to just lower down 3 inches and come back up. Next time, try 4. From there, you could go to 5 inches and just keep working until you feel like you've reached your low point. Okay? Next, hold it halfway down at 45 degrees. Come into Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. Bend your knees halfway in. Exhale, press out. Okay, so frog 2 extension or frog press. Frogs and straps, depends on your instructor what they call it. You can come deeper if your knees and hips allow that. As you come in deeper, okay, pay attention to your knee joint and your hip joint. Breath always comes first, but the integrity of your joints, your spine position, so I just say your bones, comes second. So pay attention to those things. Okay, so bend it in. Press out with control on an exhale, squeezing your glutes and inner thighs toward each other. Okay? Come back to parallel at the top. Take a deep breath, begin to circle up, out, and around in symmetry. You're working evenly through each side to create that circle. Right now, when you rotate at the top, you're working away from your center, evenly. Start with circles the size of the carriage, not any bigger than that. And then as you continue to go, you can get a little bit bigger with your circles, very slowly. Sorry, she got stuck inside the reformer. Come here. Okay, so as you're doing those circles, progress into a size that works best for you. Okay, and the last thing I want to go over, maybe planking if I have time, but my time is dictated by my little baby here. If she'll let me, I'll do planking too. Okay, but go through your reverse circle. So lower down, up and in, start small again. Imagine working away from your midline, or sorry, imagine now working toward your midline. So I'm down, up and in, evenly through my hips. Good. Okay, so working toward your center. And then those circles can get a little bit larger each time as you practice. Okay, slowly bring yourself in. Hang up the straps. I'll try to go over planking real quick. She's being a goober now. But knees under hips, you tuck your toes on the platform, hands or forearms on the carriage. Shoulder injuries, stay on the palms. You don't want to do forearms. Forearms though, if you need it for the wrist, without even lifting, you're here in that 4-point kneeling position. Slide your hip bones up to ribs. Pull the belly away from the carriage, and this is important. Gently, not hard, gently separate the shoulder blades by pushing your chest away from the carriage. Okay, then start to hover the knees and tap them back down. Just work on that knee lift. Okay, once you get the hang of lifting the knees, you can press all the way out, all the way in. Okay, and your final progression is dropping your springs. So you come down to one light spring. One light spring is a lot harder in most ways. The heavy is heavy, right? You can feel a difference. If you have a box, you can modify short by going short box and putting it on the carriage. Forearms or palms on the box. Otherwise, you're on the carriage on the light spring. Slowly press out. Slide the hips to ribs, pull the belly from the carriage, and gently separate the shoulder blades. Hold it and breathe. Okay. You can tuck the chin, eye gaze to pelvis, and close the carriage as you lift up your hips into pike. Close the carriage all the way. Eye gaze needs to be to pelvis, and then slowly push back out. There's your pike. Bending the knees in and out without coming down. There's your jackrabbit or bear, depending on what you like to call it. You can bend the knees to the side each time you come in. Come back center and straight. Dancing bear. And then finally, control balance or saw variation. You just bring the arms forward and back. See how my ankles aren't moving? Nothing's moving but my arms. And those are just some of your plank variations. Well, as you can tell, my time is up here. But thank you for tuning in. I hope this helped you go over some of the basics of the reformer exercises. Follow my YouTube channel. I'll post stuff from time to time. I also have an app. It's called Pilates Bar and Strength. I'll put the link down below just in case you're interested. I do classes. I do reformer, mat, chair, bar, all of it on my app. Otherwise, I will post here when I can. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your patience.